Isekai anime is absolutely brilliant. What's not to love about a character taken from their boring and sad lives on Earth and transported to a magical and foreign realm where anything is possible? Add to that, and improving their powers is an awesome magical school that is way cooler than boring old school. And you've got yourself a flawless anime. Welcome back to Animeology. We've got an interesting list for you today, a collection of best isekai animes with an MC that's teleported to a fantasy world and attends a magic school. Number 10. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? A brilliant blend of action and comedy set across a fun fantasy world. This is a reasonably well-known series with some of the most insanely overpowered characters you will ever come across in an anime series. We follow 3 children that live extremely boring lives because they maintain some insanely overpowered and unmatched psychic powers. This story kicks off when they receive an envelope that transports them to a fantasy realm filled with high-powered magical people that use their powers to play dangerous games for money and respect. The kids are happy that there is finally a challenge to their sheer overpowered abilities and get caught up in this exciting new world, but they soon learn about the demon lords that run this new isekai world and plan to overthrow them. An epic tale that starts off small and takes us through some very interesting characters and world building in their little community, but begins to grow grander in scale and the children take on more and more powerful enemies. Number 9. Luck and Logic. Based on an extremely successful trading card game, the universe of Luck and Logic is filled with an interesting mix of both high fantasy and hard science fiction, in an anime series that's not afraid to explore some complex themes while still bringing forward some brilliant anime action. We learn of a horrible catastrophe that mankind faces. After a 100-year-long war, the mythical fantasy realm of Tetra Heaven, the demon gods were afraid of their loss and decided to invade the human world of Septia. The government of Septia fought against these demon gods by using elite police squads that have the ability to channel the powers of goddesses from other worlds. We follow Yoshikika Suguri, a seemingly normal young boy that meets a beautiful goddess one day and results in their fates being forever intertwined. An absolutely brilliant anime series with a lot of interesting concepts and ideas from the core series to draw from. With a well-designed story that has a very clear direction, Luck and Logic is a series you don't want to miss out on. Number 8. My Next Life as a Villainess. There are few anime series that had us laughing from the very first scene. My Next Life as a Villainess brings forward some key running gags and jokes that had us holding our bellies and rolling on the floor with tears in our eyes. A fantastic isekai take with some light romantic comedy and interesting harem elements. We follow Katrina Clay, a young daughter of a noble family that one day bumps her head and starts to realize that she used to be a lifeless otaku on Earth until she's been teleported and reborn into this isekai world. She starts to realize that this fantasy realm is based on one of her favorite games, and that she is actually the bad guy that's doomed to be exiled, outcast, or killed. This is the perfect setup for a lot of great laughs as we see Katrina try her best to avoid this horrible outcome of her life. The humour of Katrina trying to escape her fate as the villainess while juggling the many cuties and romantic interests in her life is quite unlike any other anime series out there and definitely something you need to check out for yourself. Number 7. Dragon Crisis. An awesome action fantasy series that knows when to pull back and hit us with some great laughs, or turn it up and get emotional with some quality romance that had us invested in its brilliant cast of characters. Dragon Crisis is a series that focuses on Riju Kusagari, a normal teenager that lives a peaceful life attending high school. But this peaceful life gets completely messed up when his second cousin Iriko arrives from overseas. All of a sudden, our MC's normal school life gets seriously messed up as Iriko drags Ryuji into an underground world of smugglers and criminals and insane fantasy. Through a secret organization known as Fang and a mysterious box they were smuggling, Iriko and Ryuji find inside a young girl-looking dragon that instantly attaches herself to Ryuji. An insane adventure kicks off as we start to slowly learn more and more about this crazy world of dragons and the true story of our MC, Ryuji, and just how involved he really is with all of this. Number 6. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. A lot more relaxed and easy to digest, a bite-sized chunk of slice-of-life anime makes this a brilliant school-focused fantasy comedy that had us invested with its brilliant characters and engaging episode-by-episode stories. An absolutely fantastic series that follows Imura Suzuki. A 14-year-old is sold to a demon by his parents. This demon, Sullivan, takes Irumi to the demon world and adopts him as his grandson. Iruma needs education and attends a school for demons where he befriends two gorgeous demon girls, Alice and Clara. But we soon realize that Iruma needs to be careful as the only human surrounded by demons, because the rest of the demons will eat him if they find out. This series is absolutely hilarious as we find our poor MC in all sorts of messy situations and adventures trying his best to keep his human heritage a secret from all the dangerous and hungry demons around him. Number 5. The Familiar Orb Zero. The Familiar Orb Zero is a seriously underrated fantasy comedy series with some brilliant harem elements. A fantastic series that was unfortunately left unfinished due to the unfortunate and untimely death of the author. Although the story was ultimately finished according to the original author's notes, this is still an anime series that we recommend you check out. The story itself is set across a magical fantasy realm that is very much similar to Europe in the Middle Ages. Those being able to use magic are considered noblemen as opposed to normal people that cannot. The core story itself is focused on a young noblewoman that is actually terrible at magic. Mocked by her classmates and bullied constantly, the story really kicks off when all the magic students start summoning familiars, with the young noblewoman summoning an ordinary teenage boy from Japan. She is totally humiliated, but it's only a matter of time until the two begin to get closer and unravel some insane magical abilities. A really great core idea that is pretty unique and extremely heartfelt and emotional at times. A must-watch for sure. Number 4. Spirit Blade Mountain. Based on the extremely successful web novel series, Spirit Blade Mountain takes us on an epic journey into a brilliant world of fantasy and magic. An interesting collaboration from both Japanese and Chinese creators presents an anime series that is quite unlike any other, but one you definitely need to watch. We learn of a horrible event that was set to occur across the fantasy realm. Falling comets would drain the spiritual energies of the land and bring about a vicious age of chaos. But the prophecy was wrong and everyone was fine. But a mysterious and strange boy was born in a remote village. The story picks up 12 years after this, when the leader of this region looks to determine the most talented and gifted individuals from around the realm to be trained and become the future leaders and sages of this realm. We follow the story of Ariku, as he journeys through many challenges and trials set before him on a path to becoming a powerful sage, and one of the most powerful and influential magical users across this realm. Number 3. Mabaharu.
葉月忙しそうね。じゃあ私はこれで。
An awesome fantasy harem series, Mabaharu is set in one of the most awesome fantasy worlds. An awesome realm in which every single person has the ability to use magic, although their magical power is not equal at all. Every single person has different magical powers and a limited amount of times that they can actually use their magic. A really interesting idea. A normal person could use their magic a few hundred times, but some people can use their magic a few thousand. As such, the entire social structure across the world of Mabaharu is determined by this. But if you're using up all your magic, your body turns to ash as you disintegrate. We follow Kazuki Shikimori, a second-year student that attends an elite magical school. Funnily enough, he can only use his magic 8 times before turning to dust. Only 8 times. As you can imagine, our hero is constantly bullied and at the bottom of the school's social standing. But Kazuki is a descendant of the most powerful magical bloodline, and every single time he uses one of his 8 charges of magic, he can literally change the universe. It's absolutely crazy just how powerful Matsuki is, and Mabaharu is a story that really adds some interesting core plot points and development that had us invested from the very first episode. Number 2. Magical Warfare. Based on a highly successful light novel series, Magical Warfare brings us an intense and epic sense of adventure of fantasy that is backed by a brilliant core romance that had us rooting for our heroes throughout. We meet Takeshi Nancy, a seemingly ordinary high school student that has a dark and grim past. One day, he's heading off to kendo practice when he comes across a mysterious girl that he has never seen before. This mysterious girl, Mui Alba, turns Takeshi into a magician. Our hero then learns that the world is split into 2. The normal world and the strange Isekai world filled with magicians. Mui is part of an elite magical academy where magicians learn to control their powers and live among normal humans. Of course, Takeshi decides to abandon the normal, boring world and enrolls in this elite magic school in this awesome new Isekai world. Meeting a cast of interesting and engaging friends, fighting off epic and scary supernatural and magical threats whilst developing a very heartwarming and engaging romance with Mui. A Magical Warfare is a little something for everyone. And number 1. Angviere. A brilliant high-concept and fleshed-out adventure set across an awesome magical fantasy world. Angviere is a journey from the very beginning, with some brilliant world building. It should come as no shock that this series has seen a great deal of success as a manga, anime, and even video game series. We see a relatively normal world that gets rocked when magical portals begin opening everywhere and start to fuse 5 greatly different and unique worlds together. This results in a number of teenage girls uncovering some insane magical powers within them. An elite magic school is built for these magic-enabled teenagers that they attend in order to truly master and control their unbelievable supernatural powers and use them for good or bad. With some unique and well-thought-out powers and some absolutely brilliant fight scenes, Angviere is a series that will have you on the edge of your seat from the very first episode, and an absolutely brilliant anime series that you definitely need to check out.